That was a good game. Before we get into everything, this is the question that I always ask everybody initially, just to break the ice and stuff like that. What are you currently? I know you say you ref a lot, but what series or anything are you currently watching?
Okay. So the series I'm watching right now, my favorites are Snowfall,
Okay.
Double Cross, This Is Us. I'm a movie head. I love series. I watch TV all the time, any chance I get. Those be probably my top three right now. Of course, all the powers. I'm into all of them. Euphoria, that one surprised me. I was shocked by Euphoria. I said, man, this is crazy. But I said it did happen in high school. I know a lot of people talk down on the show, but a lot of that stuff did happen in people's high schools.
Really? Okay. I'm gonna have to tap in then because so what I like to do is when I'm watching stuff, I like to binge watch. Like I'll
Yeah, me
see
too.
like I'll see like the first episode. So I watched like the first episode of Tommy, but now I'm waiting until they're all done. I just wanted to watch it to see if I was gonna dig it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with um have you seen the Bel Air
Yep.
series? Okay. How you like it?
I like
Make
it.
sure you
It's
like this
different. It's
video
not what
and
everyone expected. I
subscribe.
like that it's different. I like the characters look different. I like how they brought certain things out of them from the old show, but made a new element on them, especially like Hillary. She's not the ditzy one that you remember that was always talking about famous people. She is her own person and she's making her own life. So I love to see it.
Yeah, I like it too. I feel the same way I felt about Carlton, the same way I felt about Tyreek for a minute until I watched. Like I want to kick Carlton ass, bro. Like, ugh. But it's how I felt about Tyreek until I watched Power Book 2 with Ghost, and
Yeah.
then I started thinking like, this is Ghost reincarnated. That's exactly who he is. Is really just Ghost reincarnated.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
that's how I felt about Tyreek too. But it's just like you got to watch the character develop, and once you do, you're like, okay, it makes a lot more sense. But at first, I was like, no, he need to go. Like, let him.
yeah, sure, for sure, for sure. Hey, let me go ahead and intro this really quick. Hold on one second.
I like the background, by the way.
New viewers, welcome. Returning viewers, welcome back to Baseline to Goal Line. I am your humble and gracious host, Alan Cole Beasy Colburn. And in the building, this is an honor for me. I've been trying to get her for a minute. She's been ducking me like the feds, but it's all good. In the building with me right now, two-time, this is dope to say this, two-time All-American. I can say, I'm sorry, not All-American, Hall of Famer. I can say that you are a two-time Hall of Famer. Second leading scorer in Marquette history. One of the greatest women basketball players I've ever seen play with my own two eyes. The GWOAT, Krystal Ellis, is in the building. How you doing, Krystal?
I'm good. It's a Wednesday. I'm enjoying the day. I do say though, I am a three-time Hall of Famer.
Whoa, see, yeah. Let's get to that. We go. So here's the thing, and this is. I'm glad. Thank you for checking me. First of all, my show is to give people the proper flowers and everything that they deserve. I want to make a platform to give people because of course, of course, you know just as well as I do, we didn't have this shit growing up at all. And what I've been running past and coming in contact with is a lot of people who want to share their sports journeys and their sports stories, but don't have the proper platform to do it. So what I want to do is be able to provide that to people and give people a platform to discuss whatever they want to discuss as far as a sports career without any backlash, without any criticism and all of that stuff. So first of all, it's an honor to have you here first and foremost. Second of all, thanks for checking me because if you are the three-time, we are definitely going to get to that. What I find out crazy is this. If I have a male on and I'm doing their interview, I can find out mad information, stats, everything about them. I did everything. I was digging. I came up with some stuff, but I was not able to pull up a lot of your basketball history online. Now, luckily enough, I grew up in the same area that you did, so I know a lot of it. But there's still small nuances that you don't know. So with that being said, the first thing that I want to get to before we get into your the beginning of your basketball journey. First of all, let's do this. You got your drink? Okay. Right now, I got some jam jar. This is an African wine. It's a Shiraz. This is dope. If you never had it, we'll talk offline and I'll send you like all the information for it. This is pretty good. What you got?
This is Don Julio on the rocks.
Oh, okay. I love it. I love it. Typically, I have tequila, but I'm chilling tonight. I got some wine. Y'all comment down below. Let us know what it is that you're sipping on. And to always, what we toast to here is to life, health, wealth, and last but not least, sports talk. Salute.
Salute.
Okay, now we can get the show popping for real. Women equality when it comes to sports, because what I just spoke about. I can typically type in somebody's name. Wikipedia is going to pull up something about them. Whatever, it's going to have a lineage and everything. I was searching, and it was almost like, yeah, she's a Hall of Famer 3 times. Check me good. But it was like she's a ghost as well. Because I couldn't really find the statistics and the background and everything that I wanted to find. So what do you say about where women equality stands right now in sports and where we need to go with it?
Oh, we still have a lot to go, a lot of ways to go, actually. I think there's so many ways we can improve the women's game, and I think there's so much people can do to help the women's game. I feel like people were trying to get it on the basis of where it should be, and there's a lot of people talking about it, but we need a lot more action. We're not where we should be. The game has evolved so much, and it's so much better, but I think we're in the right stepping stone, like with the scholarships and the now that you can get deals, like how the girl from UConn, how she signed a deal outside of it. I love stuff like that. Like, they deserve that. So we're going in the right direction, but there's so much more behind the scenes that need to be done to help it get to where it needs to be.
What do you think those things are? I know that you said that we're in the right direction, and I agree with you 150% that we are going down the right path to get the women what they need. But just to elaborate it on a little bit more, because I think this is super important, and this wasn't even one of the questions that I was going to ask you, but after I started doing the research and trying to dig up stuff, I couldn't find anything, and I was just like, that doesn't make sense. Like, how can I not look up where you were ranked in high school back when you were in high school on ESPN.com, but I can look up a male 20 years from now, or 20 years ago, I should say, and I can find everything on them. So with that being said, where do you think we need to go? Like, what do you think are some of those stepping stones and those things that need to be put in place?
First, I say it's good that you even acknowledge it and understand it. Like, hey, 10 years ago when you were playing, I can't find anything about you on ESPN, but I can go find a male figure on there. Those little things matter, and people don't realize that. So even for you to just see that makes it known that, hey, there's a lot of equalities. I think it starts with the behind the scenes, the NCAA and the things they do. I think we need change. I think so used to doing things the way they wanted to for so long that they don't want to step up and make the change that needs to happen. So at first it starts within. NCAA takes over all of women's basketball. What are they doing to make change and make things better? What happened last year in their in the locker rooms during the NCAA tournament? The things the women got compared to what the guys got, and how like it was brought to scene. Social media is also a good outlet. It's a great platform for us to expose the things that are wrong, and there's do that, and people are stepping up. What did they do? They changed everything around. They think it's okay to do this thing that they did in the past until they're exposed and they have to change their thought process. So I think with all the women speaking up and not just sitting in the back burner and be like, hey, it's whatever, I still get to play. No, they're speaking up and talking about it now and saying, hey, you need to make a change. We're as worthy as the men. We're doing the same thing as them.
Yeah, for sure. Because, first of all, I agree with you. And I think, when with the evolution of social media, shit is being brought to the forefront. And it's funny because it's almost like it's the good and the bad, because you look at it like, well, why did it have to take social media or these type of public outlets for shit to be brought to the forefront? But then on the flip side, you also look at it as like, okay, I'm glad that it did happen this way, or I'm glad that it is happening right now. But like you said, it's we are just so far behind when it comes to equality with women in sports. And that's why, because you did play at the highest level, that's the reason why I wanted to get your perspective from it. Because you've been in it, you've been in the trenches, you've been there, and you've seen. I'm pretty sure you've seen just how, like, here prime example. Why the hell do y'all play? And we'll get here. But why did y'all play at the Al McGuire and the boys played at the Bradley Center or now the Pfizer Forum? You get what I'm saying? Like that within itself is kind of like it's weird to me because so now the boys are playing in front of a larger crowd in a professional stadium, but the girls can't even get the same.
So, in most cases, I would agree with you on that. But I saw the gym that they used to play in.
Okay.
And it was terrible for the girls and what the boys used to practice in. So being able to be in the Al McGuire and see how much it evolved from what they used to have, I was happy.
Okay.
Like for me, it was different because I said, if you would have saw what they were doing before, you'd be like, no, this is unreal. But like,
okay, I see what you're saying.
So like now we can have 5,000 people in the stands. It's a lot better because that old gym looked like a high school gym. It was crazy.
Because you got to Marquette. Well, I'm speedballing, but you got to Marquette in 05, 06, right?
Yep.
506. Okay. So what I want to do though is I want to just take it back, and I want to just start from the beginning. First of all, before we get there, I do want to tell you this though. Congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you.
That was dope to see. That was very, very dope to see. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. But let's just start in the beginning. When did you think? First of all, did you play any other sports growing up outside of basketball?
Yes, actually, I played soccer as long as I played basketball. I started around the same time, and then I started volleyball in 6th grade, and that all through high school as well. So I played soccer in the spring, basketball in the winter, and fall I played volleyball. So I was a 3-sport league.
Were you as good in? Well, no, that's we're not gonna say as good because we talking to the GOAT right now. But were you? Did you receive any interest in colleges from soccer?
No, not soccer or volleyball. I think everyone knew right away because I started getting letters after my freshman year in high school for like basketball. So I think everybody knew that I was that.
It's
was
not even a shot for them to even. Yeah. She's not coming here to play soccer or volleyball. She's about to go hoop. Yeah, I got you. When did you discover your love for basketball? Around what age do you think?
Probably, I didn't know how much I loved it. I just knew at a young age I was a lot better than most people that I played with. So It grew me into what I thought I was supposed to be as a player. But I probably middle school, beginning of high school, I was like, oh wow, this might be the ultimate thing for me. Like I can take this far.
It took you until high school to realize that?
And well, we had AAU tournaments, but AAU wasn't like what it is right now. Like everything's evolved so much from when I played that it's not the same. Like, right now you can know 4th graders, 5th graders who are already ranked. We didn't have that in school, high school. Like we started getting that in high school, but you might have an 8th grader that, hey, they're ranked nationally, but we didn't have all that. So you couldn't really say, hey, I'm one of the best players out here because you didn't know, like you have those same social media platforms that was telling us.
Okay, but listen, man, I've seen you. I've seen the evolution of Krystal Ellis from St. Cat's all the way through, right? So at some point, because I saw it. So at some point, Krystal Ellis had to say, okay, she can't mess with me. She can't mess with me. She can't mess with me. Hell, he can't mess with me. And it had to come to a point where it was at some age where okay, I know that you said your freshman year is when you noticed it, and it was probably more so on the political side of things where you heard other people and everybody else saying, okay, she's good, and all the rankings and the colleges and stuff coming. But when did you know it? When did you say that you were better than a lot of people?
Oh, most like when I started AAU, probably in the 4th or 5th grade, when nobody could guard me at that age, when I could just tell I was that much better than most of the people on my team and my opponents. So I started, I'm this much better. Or when my coach would be like, I come out, trying to pass the ball around, get everybody involved, and the score is close. And he look at me like, come on, it's time.
Gotcha.
And I just go at him, and then I just score a whole bunch of points. So probably when you start, like, not just me noticing it, but other people around me like, hey, you need to take over the game. It's that time.
Okay, I got you. I got you. And so I know you said AAU. What age was this for you though? Like, what age was it?
Well, because we didn't have in Racine, we don't have that like feeder programs like everybody else. We only get to
Right.
play during the school year. So our AAU, what we call the traveling team, it started in third or fourth grade. It was the Racine Lakers. I played with them until like sixth, seventh grade, and then I went to our Brace Center team where Wally Booker was a coach, and then he took me up to Milwaukee after that, after like the first year, and I
I'm getting
played what? Yeah, I played with DTA.
GTA. Yep, with Ike.
Yep.
Because I was getting there, and I'm glad that you mentioned it, and I'm glad you broached that because Dwayne Wilson told me to ask you about that, and he was like, I was a youngin, and he was like, when I tell you she was the truth, I was like, bro, she was a walking bucket. We had a whole powwow about this earlier, and just talking about it, and he said, ask her about DTA. So you end up ultimately going to DTA. What and playing with DTA. Now you outside of the area of Racine. You are like now you playing in Milwaukee, and I'm pretty sure with that particular team, you're traveling a little bit further. You're going doing a
Yeah.
little bit more, right? And you were still faring well for yourself on the circuit at that time.
Yep. Yeah, he
Okay,
took us to Atlanta.
okay. Elaborate on that.
It was crazy experience. I had like, I think when I played for Playground, I played for them one summer. They took us to Portland, but I just went for, how sometimes you get to go for the one tournament. I wasn't on
Yeah,
the whole year. So I was coming off the bench playing with everybody. So then the next year I got with DTA and I started with them and he was taking us all over the place. And it was the experience because we was destroying everybody. Like I had Myosha Barnes on my team. Like we had Stephanie Krause play with us for a year. Like Turk. A lot of us played together for like this team, and like everybody was real good. So we going all over the nation playing and doing what we were supposed to do. We winning.
yeah. So, and this was like during high school, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yep.
let's go backwards a little bit. So, as I previously touched on, you ultimately ended up going to St. Cat's. What was the reason for St. Cat's, and then why not any of the public schools in Racine?
My mom, she,
Okay.
back then they want you to have the best possible chance you could. So what
Hmm.
in public schools was bad. It's just my mom wanted me to go to private school. I had been in private school since first grade. There was a school I used to walk to that was like 5 blocks away called Holy Name that changed to St. Richard. So I've been in private school since first grade. So I didn't know anything else. And that was a K through eighth grade school. So right after Holy Name, it was like, well, it's St. Cat's. It's like there was no other option in my mind for me.
So not even Lutheran or Prairie or anything like that. It was just St. Cat's. Okay. So you arrived at St. Cat's. Did you start right away your freshman year?
I did. So what happened is it's crazy. I never went to many basketball camps like middle school or high school. I think I did one at Horlick and I did one at St. Cat's my eighth grade summer going into my freshman year. And I was like, go to the camp. So I went to the camp to showcase like, hey, I'm coming in. I want to start. I want to be on varsity. I'm not trying to play freshman or JV. So I came in, I did great at the camp. I think we had a one-on-one and I played against Christy Kuja, who was the best player at the time. And I won. And it's like, look, this is my starting point. Like, hey, y'all gonna let me on this team, be on varsity. So then that was one of the camps I do. And then I got there, of course, still had to do the same thing, go to open gym, get to know them, understand what they were going through. But yeah, I started.
Yeah, started right away. Okay, how did you fare? And I want to say I pretty much understand how you fared, but was it an adjustment for you going from playing just with your age group and stuff like that to playing now you're playing against juniors and seniors and people who are stronger than you, people who may be able to think the game a little bit more than you at the time? I see you shaking your head, but how did you fare?
No, it wasn't hard for me at all. Actually, when I played, like back in the day, we didn't have trainers. Like we didn't have what the kids have nowadays. We literally,
Right,
you go to the gym and you put up shots. Like you don't have
right.
anyone dribbling with you, doing weight lift with you. I didn't even lift weights until I got to high school. So I didn't know anything about any of that stuff. But what I did know is my mom, she used to take me to play and she used to pick up my guy cousins, who they were all around my age, but they were older than me. So 2 to 3 years, a girl to a boy's body is a total different
Entirely
thing.
different. Yep.
So it was about 6 of them. And I had one that was already like 6'5", and like other ones that could play, and they all play basketball. So she'd take us every weekend and we go hoop. So I've been playing with boys for years. So that's all I knew. They're always faster than me. They were always stronger. I had to learn how to get a quicker shot. I had to learn how to dribble better. So when I got to high school, it wasn't a difference at all for me. It was the same. I'm like, I played with boys for so long. This is easy.
I was just gonna ask you that as far as like, you said it wasn't different for you, but I would assume that it could have been just a little bit more easier because of the competition that you were playing with in the past. Um, so you do really well. How far did y'all go as far as first of all, who was on your team? Do you just give me some of the names that was on your team your freshman year?
Christy Kuja, Elizabeth Angel. Some of the names and changed since they got married, so I'm trying to think of it. There was one post that was named Kristen. There was a senior that was really good. Her name was Becca McCrae.
Yeah. Okay. I just want you.
Those were like the starters.
Okay. How far did y'all go in the playoffs that year? Do you remember?
My freshman year, we went to the state title game.
Mm-hmm. And y'all ended up losing to who?
Columbus.
Yep, Columbus. Okay.
Yep, I still remember it.
I bet you do. That's one. Look, a competitor never forgets the shit that stings to them the most. And if that was one of them situations, I'm pretty sure you still remembered it. So now you're going into the summer of your sophomore season. Who were you drawing interest from as far as colleges at this point in time?
Most of the colleges, like the local ones, I got letters from like Wisconsin, UW-Milwaukee, Green Bay, like just the local places, Parkside, like those. And you just start getting, then you get them random ones that are like Santa Clara out, like those
Sure.
places. Yeah.
Was anybody offering you at that point in time? Wait, back then, I don't think we could have gotten. You couldn't get an offer until when? Your sophomore year?
No, you could get an offer, but it wasn't as known back then. So I didn't get one my freshman year, but you could be offered your freshman year.
Okay, so going into that summer, knowing that this point guard position or this guard position that you held at this point in time, because at some point you ended up playing both guard spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so knowing that you have one of these guard spots solidified, and knowing that can't really nobody right now, they can't mess with you. What did you do mindset wise, or what did you do physicality wise to better yourself going into your sophomore season? What was your training regimen, if you remember?
I think playing with better players. We were in Division II, so the talent was good, but it wasn't like the Division I talent. Mm-hmm. Like, so just playing, like I'm playing on AAU teams with girls who play like me, who are built like me, who have the same game. And then we're playing against girls that are like that. So that just overall helped me. I think the best way to get better is to be on the court. Yes, you have to do all that all-court stuff, but playing in the game is what gets you better, because you never know what's going to happen.
Sure, right. So do you remember when you got ranked nationally?
I do not.
You don't remember the time frame? Do you remember if you were ranked nationally?
I believe I was, and going into my after my sophomore year, going into my junior year.
Going into your junior year. And it's the ESPN at that point in time, right? It's only the ESPN top 60. Right? So 60 best players in the country. That's what it is for women, which is another thing, because the men is an ESPN top 100. Women are only an ESPN's top 60. Do you remember where you were?
No. See, I was different. I wasn't into stuff like that. I just wanted to hoop.
Okay. You just wanted to hoop. Okay.
Yeah, I was a lot different than most. Like, I didn't know a lot of the players that I was playing against. I didn't know a lot of that stuff. I didn't even know a lot of the colleges out there that from all over. I wasn't just, I don't know what I was doing.
You were ranked 34th in the country. You were ranked 34th in the country. Actually, as a senior, I think you got as high as 19th in the country. But you were ranked 34th in the country at that point in time. Yeah, see, I do a little.
You got information I don't know.
Yeah, see, but once again, I had to get you back once, because you just, the way you checked me and said 3, I had to get you back just once. No, but you were 34th in the country, and then you ended up getting as high as 19th in the country. So I know that you say, right, that you didn't understand, or you didn't really pay attention to all of the extra, like everything that came with it. Twofold question real quick, and then we'll get into like the rest of your high school career, because I want to touch on something that I heard through the grapevine and I think I knew about, but I want to touch on something. So, but twofold question: are you happy with the fact that you didn't grow up with the social media era because of that? Because you are so because if for me, from what I know about you and from like you don't go out of your way to necessarily approach people that don't like you're more if somebody's going to come and talk to you then you'll talk to them and you'll engage or whatever, but you're not going to go out of your way to do it if you don't know people. So were you happy that you grew up in without the social media era? And then also, you know, with that being said, people that's that age group 15, 16 years old, they want to know those type of things. Why was it not so important to you? So two-part question.
So no, I wouldn't want social media back then. I think we had one little platform back then. I think it was some Wisconsin Sportsnet or something. It was something where you can go and write about, but that's all we had. But no, at that age, we're still maturing, we're still growing. We're not gonna say the right thing. We're not gonna be politically correct all the time. So it can be very bad for us. So I don't say much, but I'm still a 15, 16-year-old person. I'm not gonna make the right choices every time. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm an adult now and I still make mistakes. So no, I don't think it would have been good. And I think because social media at this point, that is the biggest platform for people. That's how they get rankings. It's more of a social thing than it is of like, hey, I'm in the gym working. I gotta let you see everything so I can get exposed so people can see me. And I think that's what we have to do. It's just changed. The game has evolved in a different way. Sometimes I feel bad for those college students, bad for them high school students that have to deal with that. People are always in your face. People are always saying, hey, what are you doing? People are always checking to make sure to see if you're messing up. And it feels bad. It's like, can you just let them enjoy life? Because there's other things besides sports. They have a life. They have family. They need to enjoy themselves because you don't want that to be the only sole thing you have. Because when you lose it or it's done, what's next?
That's true. That's very true. And then, so I think you kind of touched on it, but just to piggyback off of it, like you not checking and you not even caring about like the person that you're playing against necessarily, or where your ranking is at this particular time. Like I said, 15, 16 years old, that's a bragging point to your friends. Like, yo, I'm ranked 34th in the country. I got as high as 19 in the country. Like, where you at? I got this letter from this person. I got this letter from this person. What kept you grounded?
I think there was people around me that were getting offers too. The boys team was so successful. Like, it wasn't like I was the only one that was doing something. Like, I had friends around me, scholarship for soccer or other sports. So it was like, and I was a teenager.
Sure.
I love basketball. I love sports. I just wanted to get out there and do whatever I could. It wasn't the biggest thing. I think if I went to another school and like maybe I was the only one, then yeah, it would be different. Like everybody would be looking at me, but I'm here around other people.
Because there were so many other people around you, it just felt like it was the norm kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. So, what year did y'all win state? What year did y'all win state?
No, we did not win at all. My sophomore year, we lost in sectional finals. My junior year, I think we lost we lost at state, I think, the finals, and then senior
year. That's what
it
was, the junior year. Okay, so the junior year, y'all got back up to state. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you face any adversity or any pushback from anybody at St. Cat's? Can you please, I've heard this before. I've heard that St. Cat's didn't necessarily, quote unquote, treat you the greatest. Can you debunk that? Or did you face any type of adversity at St. Cat's?
Like what? Like, besides me being a regular teenager and messing up at times?
No, not even necessarily that, but more so like because you were getting so much pub and stuff at St. Cat's. I heard that, and once again, I'm asking you this because I want you to clear the air. I've heard that people were, even teammates and everybody, not necessarily treating you the best, like freezing you out and stuff like that. Okay. Cool.
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah, please debunk that because
nothing like that. My teammates, actually, I was really close with all of them. I was going to their house and everything. No, none of them treated me like that. I never even heard that before.
I've heard it from two people that, I've heard it twice. And both times I said that I've never heard that situation. And since I had you coming on, and I know possibly the people who said it may be watching the show, I wanted to just nip that in the bud.
Yeah, no, that never happened. Even
Okay.
from a year, they treated me good the whole time.
They accepted you with open arms.
Yeah,
Got it.
they didn't act any type of way towards me.
Got you. So now we are, since we went past, the or we got into your sophomore, junior, and senior year as far as how well y'all did and things like that. Who were you getting recruited by, and who was it like coming down to as far as where you knew that you were gonna, where did you take unofficial visits to or official visits to, and then you ultimately ended up signing to Marquette. But who else was in the mix?
So I can be totally honest from the beginning. There was a lot of letters I opened, but I didn't even know what their schools were until I started playing in college. Like I had letters from like Pittsburghs and Rutgers and stuff, but I didn't even know who they were until I played them. Because like I said before, I wasn't looking at all the schools around. I was the first person in my family to even get a full ride to play a sport. And my mom's family is huge. She has 12 brothers and sisters. Everyone has grandchildren, but I was the first one. So it was a learning experience. But most of everybody went to school. If they didn't go to like Jackson State, they went to Marquette or Northwestern. Like we stayed in the area. So like a lot of those schools that was out West Coast, East Coast, I didn't know about.
So okay, but with that being said, because this is a show, I want you to brag too a little bit, right? So I don't want you to just be the humble Krystal that you normally
Hey,
are.
I just be honest.
No, I got you. But who else were you getting recruited by though? I know you said Rutgers. I know you said Pittsburgh. Was it almost damn near every school in the country?
No, I wouldn't say every school in the country. I got letters from them, like recruitment letters, but like, I had like the Cleveland States, UW Milwaukee, Wisconsin was interested. They never offered me though. I can say that. Wisconsin was that did not offer me. Who else? UWM. I can't even think of the other ones. Minnesota was interested. A lot of the schools in the Midwest were interested, offered scholarships. I settled it real quick on like where I was gonna go. I knew I wasn't going far.
What was the reason behind that?
I'm so into family and being around family that like going far was just not in my mindset. And I actually, to be honest, I only took one official visit. I went to Marquette. I'm unofficially I went to Marquette, Wisconsin, UW Milwaukee, but I only took one official visit and it was to Cleveland State.
So you were really like set on being around the area where, as if even if you did go far, Cleveland State 5-6 hours away, so people could drive to your game. So you really wanted your family to be involved. Okay, that's cool. That's dope. That's dope. What honors did you receive in high school? Like as far as your junior and senior year? I think I know, but last time I got checked. So I just want you to tell me exactly what it is that you received your junior and senior year in high school.
I know I got like all county player of the year. I think it was once or twice. I know I got it my sophomore year for sure. It was twice. I think I got conference player of the year. I know I was first team all state. I think 3 years and 1 year was an honorable mention. Yeah. I was on what's the one?
Actually no. Let's take that back. You were all state 4 times. That honorable mention counts.
Oh yeah, so yeah, all 4 years. What was the one? I can't think of the name of it. The one from where's the Milwaukee area one? I was on that.
I forget what it's called.
I can't think of it, but I was on that one as well. I don't know why I can't think about what it's called. I guess I'm getting a little older. It's all right.
That's okay. It's okay. No, listen, that's enough right there because, like I said, I had I found some stuff out, but once again, this is an abnormal interview because typically I have everything that I need. I'm just asking questions just to confirm or deny things like that. But then also, a lot of it's for, like I said, it's for clarity purposes as well. So I knew about four-time All-State. I knew about Player of the Years. Were you on anybody's, or do you know if you were on anybody's All-American list?
I do. I think maybe 1 year I may have been, but I'm not. I think so, but I'm not sure.
I think you made it your senior year, and it was the honorable mention, All-American honorable mention.
But yeah, I know it was 1 year. I just don't.
That's still All-American. It doesn't matter if it's honorable mention or whatever. You are one of the top 25 players in the country. And at that point in time, you were 19th. So yeah, you made it your senior year. Okay, so you end up getting to Marquette. You go to Marquette. Who was the coach at Marquette at this time when you got there?
Terry Mitchell.
Terry Mitchell. Terry Mitchell was a coach. How did you, going into your summer of your freshman season, did they already have mapped out what you guys' role was going to be, or was it open competition for you to make to be able to become a starter and everything?
They didn't talk about that part, but it's just what areas we would be in. So when I got there, I had to start the summer. Of course, they make us go to summer school right away to get going. So we just start working out right away. It was mostly conditioning and then open gym and lifting, Monday through Friday. Weekends we had off just for the summer. Then we got to go home for a 2-week break. And then it was preseason. You know, in the summer, the coaches, if I remember correctly, they can't work out with you or anything. So you're literally just with the strength and conditioning coach. Preseason comes around. That's when you start seeing more where you're going to be at and what role you're going to take. So we were still doing a lot of conditioning, getting ready for the season, a lot of lifting, but we were also doing team workouts with not just the whole team, but like by position. So that's when I started to realize where they were going to have me. So ours was set up was the point guards. And then we had the shooting guards, slashers, which was like people that drove. And then we had the post players. So I was in the point guard group. So that's when I knew I was going to be a point guard.
And as far as Coach Mitchell talking to you and establishing roles going into your freshman year, did she give you a specific thing? Did she say, okay, did you come off the bench? Did you start? What was your role going into your freshman season?
She didn't really say exactly what I was going to be, but I knew I was going to be the point guard because I was in those groups all the time. Right. No, I remember this is where they get you at. Them exhibition games. You get in there, you get your 10, 15 minutes, like, oh, I'm playing college basketball. I'm a D1 player playing college. Then that first real game hit, I remember it was in, I think, Evanston, and I played 7 minutes. I remember how much I played too, because I was like, the audacity to not let me play.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? I'm glad. This is so dope that I'm having these conversations. First of all, I say this, and I'm going to keep saying this. So for y'all that's commenting down below and saying you say this every interview, you damn right I say this every interview, because I love the fact that I can go from a friend to a fan. And I can ask these questions and get answers that I never even knew about. So I say that to say, every single person that I have interviewed so far, every single time somebody has sat them or not played them, the first thing they say is the audacity. Like, what is wrong with you? I'm Krystal Ellis. Why ain't I playing? Please elaborate on this mentality. Come on, talk to me. Please elaborate on this.
So I'm like, I'm working out. I'm doing everything y'all say. I'm here. I'm like, I played 15 minutes in exhibition. I said, then we get to the real game and I don't play my family here and I'm on the bench. I haven't been on the bench in 4 years. I don't even know what that feel like. I love it. All in my chest.
I know it. I see it. Yeah. Especially for the second all-time leading scorer, which we gonna get to. But so you only play 7 minutes your first game. This is still your freshman season that we're talking about, but you only play 7 minutes your first game. Was that a blow to, like, I know it's only one game, but as you previously stated, you didn't sit on the bench for the last whatever. So was that like a blow to your ego? Did that hurt you anyway? Did it motivate you more? What happened?
It didn't hurt my ego. I just wanted to know why. Luckily with me, I had a senior roommate, and then I was the only in that position. Like I told you how the point guards, I was the only freshman in the point guard group. Everybody else was seniors. So I wanted to know, like, what do I need to do? I'm like, this ain't right. Like, I know I should be on the court. I may not be where I'm supposed to be experience-wise, but I can score, I can dribble, like why am I not out there? So I would just ask, they tell you the right things, like they're going to be honest with you. And they were great leaders. They were just like, keep working at it. It's going to get better. And I did, and I kept working. And then their mindset started to change and their thought process started to change. And I think the coaches did too. They started to see me a little different from when I was coming as a freshman and I would start playing. I started getting better in practice. I started making more shots. I started doing more things. So they started letting me play a little more. And then like mid-season, they was like, you should be starting. Started to get to that, when people are telling me, hey, just do this, go out there, rebound more, play better defense. So, I was out there playing defense. Everybody always talk about my offense. My freshman year, I had to get out there and guard girls full court just to get on the court. That was different too.
Right, exactly. So real quick before we get to your sophomore season, I want to do a couple of kind of rapid fire questions for you. Okay, real quick.
Okay.
Um, your favorite player of all time?
Tracy McGrady,
Okay, Kobe or LeBron?
Kobe,
Kobe or Jordan?
Jordan.
Okay, but so is Jordan the GOAT for you?
Yes.
Okay, but Tracy McGrady is your favorite player of all time. Why
You know,
Tracy
I was
McGrady?
that weird one. I like besides Tracy McGrady, Ginobili was my favorite player. I don't even have a favorite. I know. See,
Why?
I just like their game. It was different to me.
Okay.
It was organized,
Okay.
but I just like how they played. But they could get it done. They're gonna do everything. Like I didn't have a
Yeah.
favorite basketball team. Like they're like, what's your favorite team? I don't have one, but I know what players I love to watch and what players that made me think.
Got you. Toughest player that you ever had to guard?
Ooh, man, probably Maya Moore or Angel McCarthy.
Okay.
And I didn't even have to guard them all the time, but just when you get that switch up and you got to figure out these girls about 3-4 inches taller than me, Maya Moore coming up pulling from anywhere. Angel McCarthy was the same way. She could score the same way. So those are probably the toughest.
The toughest. Okay. Best hangout spot at Marquette on a Friday or Saturday night?
Where do we used to go? Sweet or at Marquette. You know, I didn't really go to I go to a couple bars there.
Well, not Marquette, but in the surrounding areas
Yeah.
around the campus and stuff like that.
Sweet,
Sweet,
you know,
yeah.
I ain't gonna say Ricky's because that is just not allowed.
Say Ricky's, man. You can say Ricky. It's allowed now.
You can't act like nobody's ever been there. Everybody's been
You know
there.
what I'm saying? It's allowed now because you out of school. So you can say Ricky's. Yeah, say it now. Yeah, Ricky's. Okay.
You know, I used to just like going on Water Street. I used to like going to Water Splash or whatever that thing that I like festivals. So I was on Water Street.
Got you. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Okay, I was about to cut you off if you would have said Adidas. I have one more question for you. Oh, favorite hip hop artist of all time?
Man, now that's what I can't answer. I don't know if I have a favorite.
Okay, take a drink then if you can't answer. If you can't answer that, you got to take a drink. You don't have a favorite hip hop artist?
I'm more of an R&B person.
Okay, so favorite.
I listen to hip hop.
Favorite R&B artist?
Even though she only had one album, I'll probably say Lauryn Hill.
Dope.
I just, from the first time I listened to it when I was younger to now, I still can listen and relate to it in so many different ways. It's things that like grow up. You like Love Jones, what it meant when I first watched the movie, it doesn't mean the same to me as now when I got older. Like it evolved and matured me.
Oh, that's dope. So are you talking about, let me ask you this, are you talking about Misdirection of Lauryn Hill or the Fugees' Lauryn Hill?
Both.
Okay.
I think with the Fuji, she stood her ground as a woman. She made it known. And back then that wasn't normal, but you could
listen.
the spotlight. So that's where you got to start to love her. And then she got this education and like, wow.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now we are going into your sophomore season, right? We're going into your sophomore season and we are that summer, once again, you know, off-season regiments, anything like that. What did you do to work on your game? And I want to show you something real quick after you answer this question. But go ahead, I'm going to cue it up.
So I can say I can just go back to my freshman season. I did a lot of layups and ball handling. That was all my one-on-one workouts. By sophomore year, I got better with the layups. When you think layups, I'm like, yeah, they had me doing layups nonstop because they knew I was going to have to finish with contact. So they would just beating me up down there, hitting me and making sure I went up and down. So by the sophomore year, it was more shooting, working on my jump shot, working on my three, working on my pull-up game, working on my side shooting, just all random type floaters. It started to just change up what areas I needed to focus on.
What
I wasn't allowed to shoot threes like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So in my freshman year, I think one game I shot like 3 out of my 4 shots was threes and I only made 1. I got chewed out at halftime. I'm like, wait a minute. I know I can shoot. But no. Yeah. And when she was right, like you got to prove yourself to be able to come out here. You're right now, you're a point guard slasher. You're not a point guard shooting guard. So me, I'm like, well, I got to fix that because I want to shoot. I want to. I don't want any limits to what I can do on the court.
Did you receive any honors your freshman year?
Yep, I made the Big East All Freshman team.
Yep.
I actually think, my freshman year I actually got maybe it was my sophomore year. I got Player of the Year for our team.
Okay. So yeah, I wouldn't have known that because that's an insider award. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me show something really quick. I just want to break up the monotonous a little bit. And I believe this is from one of your Hall of Fame speeches. But I just want to show this because it's a brief synopsis of some of your highlights, okay? So I just want to show this. And I'm going to show it without the music. Mm-hmm.
As a ref, all these fans, all these players always saying I'm getting hit. And I'm like, man, if you saw how many times I got hit on the court, I never had a shot that I just got to make. Somebody's always hitting me.
Or coming underneath you or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that too. Who said we don't play defense?
I'm good for getting a girl on the block.
Yeah. I remember that, NIT champs. That was your junior year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what people don't know about that? You see that Kentucky game? So in that Kentucky game, I scored 40 points.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. We're going to go back to that. Where was that at?
It was NIT. It was the
NIT championship, right?
No, it was a semifinals, the game to go to the championship. So
game to go to the championship. Okay.
At Kentucky, I scored 40 points that game. That was my career high. And then the next game, we played Michigan State at Michigan State for the championship. And I only scored double instead. I only get like 15 points and 13 assists. So
wait, time out. I love it. I love the floss. You only did what? Do it again. What'd you say?
I said 15 points and 13 assists.
Yeah. I only got a double that game. I didn't get the 40, but I only got a double. Look at that up and under. That's why you like Ginobili, because of shit like that.
So unorthodox stuff that ain't supposed to go. That girl was like 6'4". I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just let me go under her.
I love it. What goes through your mind when you see stuff like when you see that?
Man, it makes me smile. It makes me proud that we actually won a national championship. I know the adversity we had at times as a team and the things we went through. So to see like, hey,
national or NIT?
At the NIT, but like even in the NCAA, that was the experience I never had. Like enjoyed it. Like we won my sophomore year. I said that was one of the coolest things ever. I see why people are so excited when they go to the tournament.
Yep. So you're ended up, we going into your sophomore year, and I want to just kind of not necessarily speed past it because we got some more stuff to get into, especially with these 2 Hall of Fames that I know about. But I need to find out about this third one too. So sophomore year, how did you fare?
You mean how did it end up?
No, how did you play individually, and how did you guys end up as a team?
We went to the finals of the NIT. I actually at that point in the middle of the season, after Christmas break, most players either evolved or they take a back step. I evolved, and that was conference play. So they started to change things up. Carolyn Keeger, she was a point guard. She had been a point guard for the 4 years. She coached at Marquette for a while when they went on Big East on with Alizé and them.
Yep.
She was a point guard, but they started to shift her and let me take over as a point guard. I remember the game when things started to shift. We were getting blown out by DePaul. If everybody knows DePaul loves to score. We had this play called dive where the post player just come up and set a ball screen. I scored my career high that game. I had 17 points. After that game, I went to did the press conference.
Wait a minute. You scored your career high at that time.
Yeah, at that time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I had 17 points, did the press conference, excited, even though I'm like, we got blown out bad. The next day, I'm like, man, it's about to be a terrible practice. But they must have stayed up all night. They came with all these ball screen plays for me. And that was shifted us to a different thing. So we started, and the post player I had was Christina Quay. She was dominant. She could score. She was 6'2" on the roster. You know how they do for us on the roster. Because I was 5. We know I'm about 5'7".
You was what on the roster?
Like 5, I think 5'9" or 5'11" they had me, but I'm 5'7". Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But like she was destroying them. She could shoot, she can get to the basket. This is in the Big East. The Big East was the best conference in the nation. It wasn't arguable. It was the best conference. We're sending 8-9 people to the tournament. So they switched it up and let us do like 2-man game the rest of the time. And that's what we figured out. And that got us to the championship.
Hey, real quick, just to put stuff in perspective, at that point in time, you got UConn, Louisville, you got
Notre Dame, Rutgers, Pittsburgh, Seton Hall,
DePaul,
Louisville, DePaul.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, go ahead. You can finish. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like it was the best conference in the nation. And that's what I want to play on. That's one of the things I chose Marquette. I said, this is the best conference. There's no one better. ACC was below us, but like this is the best conference. So me and her everyone was playing really well, but like me and her got to really hit it off with the ball screen plays, me, if I'm not scoring, passing off to her. So that worked. And it got us to the championship in the NIT. I did not do good in the NIT. I remember my position coach highlighted my stats for that year, for that game, to make me remember the whole summer.
What was it?
I had like 8 points, a whole bunch of turnovers. I just did not play how I played the last part of the season.
Okay. So now we, going into your junior year, matter of fact, sophomore accolades that you received individually, what were they?
I was on the Big East first team. I was an All-American honorable mention. What else did I think those are the ones.
Weren't you player of the year?
No, not for the Big East. I think a UConn player got it. I was close though. I was up there. I was a unanimous pick for first team.
For first team?
Yeah.
What year did you win player of the year? Did you
win
player of the year?
Not for the Big East, no.
I'm still thinking about the high school thing. I'm sorry about that.
Oh yeah, no, not for the Big.
Okay. So junior season comes around. This is the year that y'all ended up winning the NIT. We talked about that. The overall impact that you felt that you had on the team during that point in time that year, because now the keys are yours. Everything that you are full throttle. You the person. You are the head of the snake. Were you getting any type of different coverages when it came to defense? Did they say that we need to slow Krystal Ellis down in order to beat Marquette?
Oh, at that point, they were boxing one me a lot. We had a lot
Let's talk.
Yeah, they did my junior and senior, it was a lot of boxing ones, figuring out how to score on those. So we're in practice a lot, having them box with me. It was frustrating at times. Every time to see you got somebody on you, and when you think you got a little break, there's 2 people on you, and just trying to figure it out. So yeah, it was a lot of that.
So how the hell was it frustrating for someone that was getting boxing one? You was doing some shit right, because you ended up being at that point in time. Was it your senior year that you were that you passed for all-time leading scorer in Marquette history? So how the hell? So listen, you can look at it as being frustrated, but you was torturing some damn body if they was boxing one of you your junior and senior year, but then you ultimately end up being player of the year in the all-time leading scorer in Marquette history.
You're right. I never thought about it like that, honestly. But you're right. I don't know what it was, but I think I had to change my mindset. I was so used to, I only had coverage on one person, help D, but to know that somebody was always in my face, no matter where I was, couldn't get a break.
Yeah, 2 and 3 eyes.
Change my game.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I had to change my game up a little.
Change it out.
Yeah.
No, but change it how? Change it like, were you doing more pull-ups? Were you doing more?
Yeah, I'm pulling up, doing more ball screens, on the ball screens, instead of going on, they changed to shoring on me and trying to trap me. So figuring out ways to get open. I'm going off screens now instead of using it. I can come up, hey, I got the ball in my hand. I can create my own. I can get a pick and go, now I got to go off a couple screens, let them hit a couple people and get a wide open shot. So just changing the aspect of my game to something better, which it worked out. It elevated my game. It made it even harder to guard me, but it was still, it was a change.
Yeah. The night that you ended up passing, who did you pass, matter of fact, for all-time leading scorer?
I think her name was Abby. I cannot remember. I'm terrible with names.
No, that's fine.
She had it for a long time. She had it for about 10 years.
Yeah, she's 3 now. But anyway, or whatever she is now. She's whatever she is down the line. But who was in the stands with you during that time or for you at that point in time? Matter of fact, did you know how close you were to getting it, number one? But then number two, what family members were in the stands, and how did that? What was the overall feeling of it?
See, I didn't break it in town. I broke it. I believe it was at South Florida.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
so the only people that was in the fan was basically administration. For us.
Wow.
I do remember after the game, we went and celebrated. We went and got ice cream and stuff before we had to head back. But yeah, I was in South Florida, so it was different.
Did they do anything for you once you returned to Marquette?
Yeah,
Okay,
they
so talk about
celebrated
it.
and
That's what
stuff.
I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know, I get the ball and stuff like this, and all-time leading scorer. They announce you and everything. You get all your congratulations. So yeah, when I got back, it was just, it's always different when you don't do it at home.
No, I got you. I definitely get you. So here are the rankings really quick, and I want to just pull this up, and I'm gonna let you see as well, because we lit out here. We number 2. We lit. So we got Alizea now. Matter of fact, congratulations to Alizea. I'm a fan of Alizea. I know Alizea, and I know that you said some words to Alizea, and you was proud of her when she actually broke it. So shout out to her. There she is, right there, Willenborg, Abby Willenborg.
Oh, so I was right with Abby. I thought it was.
Yeah, Abby Willenborg. I just want to go through these names. Shout out to Amani as well.
We got a lot of people from our area.
Yeah, Serena. Shout out to Serena. Keisha down there,
Keisha.
right there. Yeah, Keisha Oliver. Shout out to Keisha. Yeah, but here it is right here. This is the person this is prime time right here. Krystal Ellis, 1940. Wow, you're only 60 points away. Come on, man. She could have schemed up something for you to get that.
I
60
know.
points.
That's what I think all the time too. I could have got to that 2000.
Oh, you still be doing the competitor and you won't let it go? The competitor.
Yeah, I should have got there. There's no reason not to get to that point.
Just knowing, right? Like, what you were able to. First of all, let's do this first. Professionally wise, where did you play?
I was in Poland, Iceland, and Slovakia, and Greece.
So you played 4 different places. Favorite country to play for?
I loved Iceland.
Favorite country to live?
Iceland.
It was Iceland as well. Now, were those
Greece was too big for me. That was my first place I went to. It was way. I was in Athens. I learned right away. I said, I'm not trying to be anywhere this big.
Time out. Wait a minute. You was in Athens, and
Yeah.
that was too big for you?
Yeah, it was way too much for me.
You didn't visit the islands or anything? You didn't do
Yeah,
anything?
it was beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, I got our coaches and stuff took us places. I got, you go up on the mountains and eat and all. I got to do all that, but it was just too much for me.
Do you think, and I know the answer to this because I know who I'm talking to, but do you think that you could have played, that you should have been playing in the WNBA?
Yeah,
Did you have any interest from anybody?
I did. I didn't have a great senior year. My senior year wasn't as good as the years before.
And once again, this is we talk about equality all the time. This is one of those stigmas, right? So especially for a woman, one thing that I also hear too is like, as a woman ages, she starts getting her woman body, so things don't actually necessarily. And correct me if I'm wrong when I don't want to word this the wrong way, but you're not as fast as you were when you were younger. You're not as athletic as you were when you were younger. So it's so funny because you think about a male's prime when it comes to basketball, it's around 26, 27, 25, 26, 27. But a woman, they say a prime for a woman is like 21 or 22 because as she starts developing her woman body, her athleticism and stuff goes. Have you heard that as well?
I have, and like you think about like LeBron and them, he could still be in his prime, like he's just older, but like
that's crazy. And
it's crazy, but like he has a lot of money to do those things to fix his body up. But I'm thinking like your body does start to change at a certain age, and it starts to go down. It doesn't keep going up, and
no,
it's
sure.
effect on it.
Okay, so how did your pro career go?
My pro career wasn't the greatest. I did win in Iceland. They put me on a team and get them moved up to the A team. I wasn't there long, but you know how sometimes they'll bring a player over like, hey, we got the playoffs. We're at the end of the season. Can you come? And I was like, hey, playing overseas, it wasn't the same experience for me. I can be honest. Like I told you, I'm really close to my family, so it was holidays. I'm sitting there on my laptop on the table during Thanksgiving, just watching everybody because I'm like, it takes a mindset to live overseas.
And at that time, it was Skype. It wasn't even Zoom.
Yeah, it was Skype. That's all we had. And I think I had the Sling TV where my mom could leave the TV on at home and I could connect to it. So, but for me, it wasn't the same. Some people do amazing overseas, and I applaud them. I think it takes a lot to do that. It just wasn't the same for me. I wanted to be home. I loved it. Like, I appreciated the experience. I appreciate the people I meet, the teammates, the coaches. I loved the championship in Iceland. Even after like 3-4 years after I had stopped playing, I hadn't played at all. The coach reached out to me and said, "Hey, I got another head coaching job." I said I was going to reach out to you when I said, "No, I'm not playing anymore."
Really? That's dope though. But I mean, just for him or her to even reach out to you, number one, that says something about your character, number one. But then number two, it also says something about the affinity that people have for you at that point in time. And that's dope. That's super dope. I want to take a look at one of your Hall of Fame speeches. 1 second. Once again, it's 3. We're gonna get to that third one. But I want
how hard it is to stop thanking people the same, like you thank them and then you got to thank them again in the next one and then the next one.
Oh, that was a pretty nice highlight video.
I think that was the highlight video that I showed you before.
Yep.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you, M Club Hall of Fame, for letting me be a part of history. Thank you, God, for blessing me in countless ways that I can't even begin to explain or understand. I am forever grateful and appreciative for the life I have and the people who have helped me to get to this point. The first person I'd like to acknowledge is Terry Mitchell. Thank you for just giving me a chance to be part of the program.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah. You don't do what
just get up there. You got to speak to people. You want to make sure you say the right thing. You want to make sure you don't forget people. So many things going in your mind.
Life goes and understand.
And that's just me. I really just sit in the background.
It's a plan for life after basketball. To my position coach, Kara, you changed my game in a way I did not know it could change. Those long individual workouts, which I hated, really helped me out.
This is dope, man. What year was this?
And thinking outside the box.
2000.
I never had a nightmare.
See, you give me with dates and all. I'm not the great. 2018. Oh, I said 2018. Yep.
Okay. Oh, duh. Yeah, 2018. It does say right there. Okay, so 2018. And this was. So you got hit with the Marquette Hall of Fame in 2018. You turn around and get hit with the Racine Sports Hall of Fame a year later, right?
Yep. And then I think in that same year, I got hit with the St. Cat's one.
Oh, yeah. How did I forget that? Come on, man. I knew about that. How did I forget the St. Cat's Hall of Fame? Okay, so 3-time Hall of Famer. Man, let me ask you this. Do you still get, and I'm sure you do, but do you still get the recognition and stuff that you feel? Because, okay, man, listen, we just gonna, let's keep it a buck. We are, well, you are, you played at the highest level. You still think you get the recognition and stuff that you deserve?
They don't talk about me as much, but it don't bother me because I know how cold I was on the court. I don't need it.
Say it again.
I said, I know how cold I was on the court. I don't
walk in bucket, man. Listen, let me tell you, walk in bucket. Keep talking. I love it.
And the outsiders, they know who I am. They know what I did for the game. And a lot of people do come up to me. It may not be like in the newspaper and stuff, but a lot of people come up to me and say the same thing. You was a walking.
And that's what I mean. I don't care about what the.
Oh yeah, no. People come up to me all the time, or like I'll be out and I'll be at the gym with somebody, and they'll be like, "Go." They'll say "go" all the time, or they'll be like Hall of Famer, and it's like not too many people look around and be like, "Oh, they talking to me." Like
well, I mean, if you had a regular gym, just like at Razor Sharp or something like that, if somebody says Hall of Fame, don't even look around because they talking to you. That's exactly what they talking to.
So but a lot of people will be like, man, they don't put enough respect on your name. I said, I know, it's all right though. They don't forget me.
I say it all the time. Who do you think are some of the best players to come from this area?
I say in my mind, I'd be like in like Racine or like the Southeast area.
I would say from here to Milwaukee.
Okay, I say like Keisha Oliver, of course. Uh, Helen Johnson. Who else? Dee Dee was told.
Didi was something.
Tonya Hennings, Latanya Sims. I can't think of all the names, but they're Gabby Ortiz. We had some other ones, some really good ones from Racine, Milwaukee. It was so many, honestly, that
So
you
many
don't
out
think
there,
about.
man. And you don't want
And I
to
can go
leave
further, like
anybody out.
Jolene Anderson, that weren't in
Oh
there.
yeah.
You get this. My freshman year, I get to state, and I'm saying, "Hey, this girl's scoring 40 a game," and like you just get to see all those things. So like, there's a lot of them that I probably forgot that were just cold that I just like I can't even think of.
Anthologic and Enrique and
Yeah,
Uguale. Yeah, it's so many. Like you don't want to, and I don't want to get to naming people because I'd be sitting here all night, and then I'll end up leaving somebody out, and they'll be watching the show like, bro.
yeah, and that's what I wanted to come.
the
I'm
hell,
like
you
I
left
wouldn't
me
even
out,
thought
right?
about Enrique, but what did Enrique do in the tournament? Like it's like she should be number one in my head, but she's not. But yeah, no, I wouldn't. Like, and I can't think of everybody, but there's so many people that were just cold. And then even from my era, like I said, Miyoshi Barnes, Turk, all of them, like
Yeah.
yeah, I said in my era, there was like 10, 15 girls that won D1.
No, man, listen, it's a lot of people that came up around that time, and like I said, if we would have had social media during that time, they would have been so much further and so much. I shouldn't say that because it was. That sounds like I'm taking a shot because everybody did their thing with the respective careers that they had. But I also feel like it would have been so much better because the exposure would have been there.
Yeah, no, I 100%.
It would just been, it would just would it would have been just
like
great
Milwaukee.
everything for sure.
They don't talk about our areas that much. They don't talk about the Southeast as much. Like we may get one or two players at a time out of here. But now, like if you would have went back in that era when all of those girls was playing at the same time, we had a lot of people go Division I basketball, and people don't even know. So it would have evolved the game so much more. It would have made it so much better for us in our area. Like people would have respected us more. They would have respected the Southeast of Wisconsin. They don't because oh, you got one or two. No, we had a lot.
No, it was a whole bunch, man, a whole bunch. Last thing I want to show you, and I got to show this fully, is the Wisconsin, the Racine Hall of Fame speech. This is dope.
In a community
Yeah, they did a great job with this. That was at my grandma's house.
Was it?
Krystal
Yep.
Ellis.
Yeah, I always had to go take pictures at your grandparents' house for homecoming or winter formal.
I played for the YMCA Developmental League. So I used to always dribble a ball around the house, so my mom knew I loved it. So that's when she first gave me a chance to play.
An all-time leading scorer at both St. Catherine's and Marquette University, Krystal's time on and off the court has been an inspiration to many people in Racine County. A 4-year starter at St. Catherine's, Krystal was a dominant force on the hardwoods, earning first-team All-State honors in 2003, 2004, and 2005. As a junior, she averaged just under 20 points per game, along with 6.3 rebounds
That's a carry
and
too, by the way.
3.3 assists.
And you can carry back then. I'm giving them the Hezel like Allen.
Way up here.
As a senior, she averaged
Allen Iverson can do what I can.
Yeah, I know, right?
leading St. Pat's to a spot in the state championship game, while also receiving Racine County Player of the Year honors.
There was nothing like playing in the pit. I love the coaches, the staff. It was a really great experience for me. I really enjoyed my high school years.
Following her outstanding prep career, Krystal moved on to play an important role on the Marquette women's basketball team in the Big East Conference.
Important.
One
Y'all
of the
better,
best
come on, man. We're not doing this. Y'all better
in school
talk.
history, Ellis.
We always got to be politically correct.
We gonna.
She was a
man,
four-time
look.
all
That's how they no.
twice earning
I got
first-team
you.
honors. Krystal led Marquette to a women's NIT championship in 2008. She was chosen as the tournament's most valuable player after scoring 40 points versus Kentucky in
What?
the quarterfinals.
We talked
and
about
then
it?
collecting a double-double in the title
Look,
contest
look.
against Michigan State.
I remember it all.
Selection in 2007. and
I've been
was
wanting to tell this
listed
damn
as
story.
Player
Thank
of
you.
the Year.
Like after going to the
You got to talk about the good and the bad. Look, my first game was 7 points,
I love
Right,
it.
for
but
sure.
hey, I scored 42.
As
Yeah.
the school's leading scorer with 1,940 career points, an honor she held until 2018. She was one of the select few women's college players to finish a career with 1,900 points, 350 assists, and over 200 steals.
Mm-hmm.
She graduated from Marquette with a degree in communication studies in 2009
And still
and
shy.
later
How does
earned
that
a
how does that
master's
work?
degree from Cardinal State.
One piece of advice I got for my playing career, probably from my mom, my coaches, and my teammates, is just to keep working. At some point you may fail, but get back up and try again. It was the biggest thing. Like, I know I won't always be the best, but I can work hard and become the best.
See,
Following her collegiate
I know
career,
I'll always
Krystal
be the
played
best. Yeah,
professionally
okay.
throughout Europe, playing in Greece, Iceland, and Slovakia for 3 years before retiring as a player.
This is dope, man. This is stuff that, regardless, this is what you call leaving a legacy. Because regardless of what happens, regardless of, after we are gone, this is etched in history. You cannot take this away. And that's one of the dopest things. And, I just wanted to, I think, out of all the women that I've ever seen play basketball, if you not in my mind, well, first of all, you're my favorite player. I've always
I
said that. And I
appreciate
always,
that.
no
You
problem.
have.
Yeah, and I always will continue to say that you're my favorite female basketball player that I ever seen. And if you're not the best, damn it, you right there. And so, I just wanted to get you on 6 years ago when we were doing it audio, but I think this is better because we had a chance for me to give you your flowers in a different way and show things and just see your expression when all of this shit is taking place. So I really appreciate you. From the bottom of my heart, I think, like I said, this was an honor for me because typically when we talk, it's not necessarily anything about basketball, but now I got a chance to fan out. I got a chance to ask all the fan questions that I've been wanting to ask. And I'm glad I had this platform to bring you on to give you your flowers because you definitely deserve it.
No, I appreciate you. I'm glad we got to have this conversation. I haven't done a one like this in a long time, so it was good to just sit back, have a drink.
And that's what I like to hear, man. I like you and so many other people always say the exact same thing. Like, I wanted to do this. I had fun doing this, and that's the biggest thing. And that's the reason why I want to continue to do this because it is to give the people their flowers. But I just like the joy that people get from doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's an honor to me. That's actually dope, and it means that I'm actually doing something semi okay if it ain't.
Oh no, you're doing it right. I love it. I see the videos online. I love it. I think you're doing
appreciate that.
and people need to know people's story.
Nah, for sure. And that's the reason more so like where I'm going to start. And I don't want to go off on a tangent, but that's why I'm going to start doing high school students as well because I want to get them prepared for the next level. Because at some point in time, especially now when you can sell your likeness, public speaking is going to be a huge thing. And then also when the air comes out of that ball, what is your life going to be outside of basketball or football or whatever? Speaking of which, how has basketball shaped up your current life right now? And what tools did you use from the basketball court to get where you are right now?
I can say one of the biggest things about Terry that I love, it wasn't just basketball for her. She said, what is next? So she used to have us go to these empowerment meetings and like meet business women who were successful and doing a lot around the community. And my mom always told me, there's going to be more. What are you going to do next? So my end with basketball, it didn't hurt me. It didn't bother me. I played for so long. I loved it. I did so much for the game that I was happy. So when I ended, it wasn't
I love that you keep saying I did so much for the game. I love that shit.
I didn't break down like, oh man, this is over. I moved to the next thing, which was coming in my life. I said, I knew this was going to end and I knew I was going to have to go somewhere else. And I did. Basketball helped me in so many ways. I met so many people. I got to travel the world for free. My passport was stamped up before I was even 22. Like I did so much that I loved and just got to see so much because I could dribble a ball. Mm-hmm. But I also meet so many people, get to understanding.
Don't forget that part. You can dribble it, but you can put that bitch in the rim too. We gonna say that too.
I know the rim was big. They said, how was you scoring? I said, that rim was big for me. I don't know what y'all saw, but I couldn't miss.
I love it. You hear that? Talk, bro. We gonna talk, bro. Hey, so you're reffing now currently.
Yep.
Are your assignments done for the season?
No, I actually have the state tournament, Division II girls Saturday. So yeah, then it's done. It's officially over for the season.
Hey, look, but you got the state tournament, and only a select few get to go to state tournament. Isn't that based off of your progress reports and what people think about you?
So we do
So
get rated by.
now you the golden. So now you the golden in reffing too. Okay, let's talk. That's dope.
I
That's dope.
got a lot to. I tell people I got a lot to learn about reffing. Like I still, after doing it so long, there's so many rules and interpretations that you don't understand. I try to have that open mind when I hear parents yelling or kids saying something. I'm like, look, I played basketball for so long, but you don't know the rules. I said this book is big, and there's a lot of things that you think you know, but you don't. So I try to educate people on what the rules really are. Because, you know, a lot of coaches don't teach what the rules say to teach. They teach you how they want you to play. And I'm like, man, it was a foul back then. You should have just told me what it was. But yeah, no, I love reffing. I love my job. I love that my job is flexible. I love the people I'm around. I've been at my job for 9 years. They like, dang, you at your job? And that was my first real job, what they say, after you start doing something. So I've been with Racine County for 9 years. And I love the people I work with. I love what we're doing for the community. Like I work in human services. I never thought of that, but I love helping the community and figuring out ways to make Racine better. So it's been great to me. They've been great to me. The city has been great to me. County, everything of Racine has been great to me.
Definitely. Okay, well, any shout outs you want to give before we get out of here?
Man, I give a shout out to everybody. Anyone who's trying to better their lives, just know that you won't always succeed. You may fail, but get back up and keep trying. We got to keep going. Everything won't always be the best, but if you keep trying, you keep working at it, you will get better. And if you need a support system, call somebody, reach out to somebody. Don't think you have to do it alone because life is not alone. You can get help. Do what's best for you, always. Be a little selfish with yourself. Always be selfish with yourself because you deserve you and you deserve to be better. Don't let nobody be toxic and take away your good energy.
I appreciate that. That's dope. Well, listen, man, I said it before. I'm going to say it again. My favorite basketball player. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you for coming on. We'll have to do this again down the line sometime.
Yes.
I appreciate it. One more toast before we get out of here.
For sure. I got a little left. This has been a nice little.
Good. Yep. To life, health, wealth, and last but not least, sports talk. Salute.
Salute.
And I am Alan Cole Beasley Colburn, the host of Baseline to Goal Line. Thanks for tuning in. Peace and love.